What's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 103 of the Bros Talking Soccer podcast. My name is Dave Knittel. I am here with just Christian. Matt has apparently laryngitis and his voice is all messed up, so Christian asked him to please not join. Christian, hello.
Hello. Nice to see you, David.
It is wonderful to see you. You're looking a little tired, and we'll discuss that when we get to the podcast because I want to recap that for people because we were talking about that before we went live, and that was pretty funny. We're recording live on YouTube here, so if you have any comments, questions, concerns as we're recording, please chime in. I have the chat feature up here in the background, and or if you just want to say hello, we'd love to hear from you. And with that, we're going to be talking about MLS Cup final, US Women's World Cup draw. Women's. I was about to say USWNT. Doesn't flow quite as much as USMNT.
Well, Matt tried to say that last week and messed it up too, which is funny.
Yeah, but USMNT, like it flows like versus USWNT. I don't know. It's the W doesn't flow into the end, right?
It doesn't sound right, and you said it right there, but it sounded like it was wrong.
Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't quite flow. Ballon d'Or, we're going to talk all kinds of things on this podcast. I'm excited. Christian, are you excited?
Dave, I couldn't be more excited.
That is so swell and fantastic. All right, let's get to it. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 103 of the Bros Talking Soccer podcast. My name is Dave Knittel, here with just my brother Christian this week. Matt has laryngitis. We hope he heals and gets better soon, but it's just going to be us today. Christian, hello. How you doing?
Hi, Dave. I'm a little bit tired today, and I know you wanted me to explain why, so I'll explain why. So for the last week, our parents, have been in...
Just your parents.
Yeah, just been in the Caribbean, and they're living their life, having fun, while I'm here. First of all, I need to tell everybody about the people that walked into the house, but we'll come back to that as well. So every night, the dogs that I'm watching, our family dogs, Baxter and Keeper, which you all know at this point, they bark pretty much every hour on the hour for about a half an hour. So I get to sleep in a half-hour segments for about maybe a total of 4 to 5 hours a night, and it's just not enough. I'm getting no REM sleep, and it's annoying. And so I was telling my parents, and they were like, yeah, apparently there's like foxes outside sometimes, and they'll just bark at them to try and protect the house. But
they're just trying to save you, Christian.
They're not. The fox is going nowhere. I don't care. They need to stop. My life is being ruined by a fox. And if anyone is still curious, the sound of a fox, the fox says the sound of two dogs barking angrily at a front door. So I'm very done with it. And my parents get home tonight. So hopefully it's all done because it doesn't happen when they're here.
Yes, and you've had an eventful week. You had some people just walk right into the house as well.
Some strangers as well this week. I thought I was just having stalkers from the podcast because we're so popular. But this woman and her husband just walked into the house. And so I see them walk into the house and I say, excuse me, can I help you? They look at me and they're like, yeah, where's the rest of the band? And again, I just look at them and I say, what? And they say, it's band night. It's Tuesday. Where is everybody? And I say, it's band night next door at my next door neighbor's house, like it is every week, not in my house. And the woman's just like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. And I look at her in the face and I say, yes, it is, because that's very weird. And I don't know why you would walk into somebody's house, because the dogs were freaking out. I was playing FIFA. I couldn't stop, obviously, as you all know. So it was just a whole big thing. Hearing people's voices, walking around in my house. That's got to stop. I don't like that. I don't like people walking. But just facts for everybody. Life fact. Lock your doors. You never know who's going to walk in.
Exactly. So that one's on you. I've had a pretty uneventful week. Kristen was away this week, didn't leave the apartment too much, and watched a ton of Arrested Development. So that was pretty much my week. All right, this is a soccer podcast. Let's get to the soccer. Before we do that, Christian, you want to give us our trivia question for the week?
Dave, I would love to give the trivia question this week. So it's going to be about Mr. James Milner. because why not? He's made his 500th appearance this week in the league. So he has scored in a certain number of games, and he has never lost when on the goal scoring sheet. How many games has he done that in?
Okay. Is this for any club or is this just for Liverpool?
No, any.
Wait, any game he's ever scored in, his team has not lost?
Yes.
That is ridiculous. I thought it was just like a Liverpool thing. Wow.
Yeah, and Cork apparently this weekend, or in midweek when we played Burnley, had never lost in, I think it was 17 games or something. And then, then Milner scored. So I was like, well, he's going to lose now.
Yeah, he's no Milner. We can agree with that. And we will talk more about James Milner in Christian's Corner. So, nice little plant there, and we'll come back to it. Yeah, very, very well done. All right, Matt is out, but we are still going to do Matt's Megs. So I guess I'll take over. Christian, do you go with that, or do you want to do it?
No, I think you should.
Okay. All right. So the first thing Matt wanted to talk about was MLS selling some of their big name kind of players this offseason. So Alphonso Davies left for Bayern Munich. Tyler Adams is moving on to RB Leipzig, and Zach Steffen is apparently moving to Man City in January. So those are just a couple of the players. Miguel Almiron might be leaving. Joseph Martinez might be leaving as well. And so I think Matt just wanted to talk about MLS kind of becoming a selling league. And we talked about this actually on our Slack channel. Drew and I got into it a bit. But Christian, wanted to get your thoughts on these players leaving the league. Is it good for the league? Is it bad for the league? What do you think?
Yeah, so Matt mentioned those first three, and then I was going to mention those two as well, but you got to it first. It's fine.
I asked if you wanted to go first.
Yeah, you did. You did. All right, so I think that it can be a good thing, but it's very, very much dependent on how that money is reinvested once we sell those players. And I don't know if these programs have developed enough to know actually where to invest their money to grow the program, because you see it in other teams. Like when some, I can't think of a specific example right now in MLS, but when you sell one of your top prospects or top players, the team kind of just falls apart. And we've seen it in the past. I can't think of one example.
Well, Red Bull sold Matt Miazga, and they just kind of retooled, reinvested, and did well. So I'm thinking more on that side. But you're talking about the downside?
Yeah, it does happen both ways. And it's very dependent on, I guess, it's the technical director and the owner and just the whole club, where to reinvest it. Do you invest it in the youth? Do you invest it in first-team players? And it is real risk, but it could reap a lot of benefits. And right now it probably will hurt the quality of MLS because those are our top prospects and top stars right now. But if it is invested wisely, if we are able to grow the youth system and really start producing those types of players, then it is a massive upgrade and will have a long impact positively in MLS.
Yeah, so there's two sides to this coin, and I fall more on the positive side, but on the downside, obviously the talent
half full.
Yeah, obviously the talent leaving the league is not great. The other thing about MLS that frustrates a ton of people is that MLS has a lot of restrictions on what teams can do with that money. So if a player is sold for more than $750,000, the club only gets $750,000 of allocation money that they can use towards their first team. So even though a player is leaving for $5 to $10 million, only theoretically 750,000 of that can be reinvested into the first team. Now, the remainder has to be invested into soccer infrastructure. So it can be invested into the youth academy and things like that. But at the end of the day, I think what frustrates a lot of people about MLS is that, it's not just a one-for-one relationship on selling a player for a ton of money and being able to just immediately reinvest that. And so that is a frustration, and I wanted to raise that point. Now, on the other side, you obviously addressed some of the positives, but from getting that money. But in addition to that, I think it helps MLS getting a reputation of being a selling league because it acts as a destination for players that are on the ascendancy in their career. We always talk about, MLS being labeled as a retirement league for players on the downside of their career from Europe. MLS's next step in its growth really needs to be attracting the South American players who are right now moving to lower leagues in Europe, in Scandinavia, Belgium, Netherlands, and Eastern Europe and getting those players to come to MLS before they go to a Bundesliga, before they go to a Premier League, Serie A, or something like that. And if MLS is selling players who go on to be successful, that only helps them attract those players even more. And so for me, I think this is all overall a good thing. Any other thoughts?
Do you think it's a good thing for the league, but what do you think about for those specific players? Are they going to break through? Are they taking too big of a step first?
It depends, right? On a player by player basis. So for Tyler Adams, I think this is a natural progression. I know Leipzig is pretty solid in their midfield, but the way that they play, he can fit kind of anywhere in their midfield. And on top of it, he's still only, I believe, 19, and RB Leipzig is a selling club. And so there may be opportunities for him fairly quickly. Alphonso Davies is an interesting case. I mean, he literally just turned 18. Bayern's going to be having some turnover in their roster at the wing position, but I find it tough to see him breaking through there. And same with Zach Steffen. At the end of the day, they're still young enough where training at the top level and maybe a season of no games, but training against the best might be okay, especially given the positions that they play. Alphonso Davies is young. Zach Steffen's 23, 24, and goalkeeper. I'm okay with him just training.
I don't agree with that.
I think I'm okay.
That goalkeeper is really important to train in actual game situations because it's not the same when you're training.
Yes, but he's still young enough. And so what I meant, obviously game is better than training, right?
But I guess he can play with the U23s or whatever too.
Well, yeah,
so he will be
training with Ederson, he might be picking up things. And the fact that he's still on the younger side from a goalkeeper perspective, he might pick things up in that year of being a backup or something like that then he can then go on to. Obviously, it's not ideal. I would have liked to have seen him go to a mid-level club.
That's what Tim Howard did, right? At United. He was a backup for a year and then moved on.
I don't think so. So I could have this wrong, but I thought they signed him to compete, and he kind of started immediately and sort of had, peaks and valleys in his form, and then was shortly moved on to Everton, where he had a very successful career. And so maybe that's what happens with Steffen. I find it very tough to see him breaking through for City.
I don't know. I think Ederson's good, but I don't think he's absolutely world class. So you never know what's going to happen. And one injury could honestly open up a door. So you never know.
The only thing is Ederson is so perfect for Pep's system and the way that he likes to play. Especially with his feet. And Zach Steffen is good with his feet, but he's nowhere near. Like, Ederson's in a different class when it comes to playing with the ball. Yeah, he is. But even compared to Alisson, like, Ederson's better with his feet.
What? Really?
Alisson. So who was I was listening to someone recently who said Alisson's a better goalkeeper, like traditional goalkeeper, and Ederson sorry, wedding rings hitting tables over here. And Ederson's better with his feet, and so there's that.
I don't know if I agree, but okay.
No, okay. Maybe it's just the way that.
I mean, Alisson's also good with his feet. Maybe Ederson's just better.
Exactly.
I don't know. Yeah,
exactly. I'm not saying Alisson's bad. All I'm saying is that.
Don't ever say that.
Yeah. All I'm saying, getting back to what we were discussing before, is Zach Steffen's not at the same level as Ederson, especially not right now. Okay.
But you got to throw Liverpool in there, so we had to talk about it.
Exactly. Obviously, if it's just us, we're going to mention Liverpool as much as possible. Christian, anything else?
Top of the league.
Yes, they are. Still long.
So weird that Matt's sick all of a sudden.
Yeah.
After we passed him in the league.
Yeah, he's sick. Neither of us have spoken to him. We don't know if he actually has laryngitis.
Yeah. True.
Christian, anything else to add here?
Nope.
Okay, the next thing Matt wanted to talk about was U.S. Women's World Cup draw. The Women's World Cup draw, and we want to talk about the USWNT's draw specifically. So they got drawn in a group with Thailand, Chile, and Sweden. Chile. Christian, thoughts on the Women's World Cup draw?
I still think we should get through, but Sweden is a tough draw. They're always a very good women's team, and I mean, they're competitive at the men's level too, but their women's team is usually pretty high up there in the rankings and very competitive at the world stage and in these World Cup competitions. So I think it's going to be a really interesting group to see. I don't really know much about Thailand and Chile's teams at the women's level, but the South American teams are usually very competitive in all soccer, so it doesn't really matter. I assume it's going to be a tough match. And it'll be interesting to see because we are still the best team in the world, I believe. And I don't know if we're actually ranked number one right now, but we
We're
just
defending World Cup champions at the very
exactly.
least.
So we're coming into this with the expectation we're going to win, and we always do in these type of situations. So I think people are really informed. Alex Morgan, I think, had the most goals in her life in this past year, so she's in form, which is great. And I mean, the whole team just looks like a unit, and it's great that they have the following of the U.S. now. Like everyone tunes in for the Women's World Cup, and I'm really excited to see how far they can progress in this tough group.
Yeah. Well, so I don't know how tough the group was. I think a lot of people were saying it was a favorable draw.
Well,
Slow
Sweden,
down, Dave.
I mean, with Sweden, it's determining whether you finish first or second. So
Exactly.
that is tough because
Yeah.
that is a huge difference.
Because Sweden did knock the U.S. out of the Olympics
Yep.
in 2016. Is that when it was? Or was it the Olympics before? I don't remember.
The one before.
Okay.
I think we won the last one.
Yeah, we won the last World Cup.
I thought we won the Olympics too in the last
Did we?
one.
Okay. Well, whatever. Sweden knocked the U.S. out of the Olympics in the earliest I think they've ever been knocked out in a recent Olympics. So they are a tough squad. Chile is making its World Cup debut on the women's side, and so they're still sort of developing. And Thailand, I don't know much about, but in all respect to them, I don't imagine they have the strongest women's team. So I do expect U.S. and Sweden to come through, but it will be a battle to see who comes through in first or second. I'm excited. It's in France next year. The time should be fairly conducive to watching it on U.S. television. I'm sure Fox is going to be devoting, a decent amount of resources to coverage. And so, I'm really excited about the World Cup. I really like the U.S.'s chances. They've done well. They've been experimenting with different lineups. And so I think they have a couple different elements to their game that they can bring depending on the matchup. And so I'm really encouraged by the USWNT. Christian, anything else to add here?
I'm just hoping that they can just make us believe again, make us believe in soccer, because the men's team really let us down. And this is a huge competition where the whole nation will be watching and supporting their team. And I just hope that they can win. It will be huge for U.S. soccer if they can.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so we will all be pulling for them. Anything else to add, Christian?
You want me to go again?
Yeah, I don't know. All right. Sorry.
Yeah, I do. So 2016, they were knocked out. I don't see by who, but 2012 was the last time they won. They didn't even medal in 2016.
Yeah, it was because they got knocked out in the quarterfinals.
Okay.
I want to say it was by Sweden, and it was the earliest they had, I want to say, ever been knocked out, or it was the longest in a very long time because they had always medaled. I want to say they're very medaling. Yeah.
Okay. Pesky U.S. women. Your dog, too.
Immediately what I thought of Scooby Doo.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, with that brings us to the end of Matt's Megs. You're going to hear a little bit of music, a plug for StadiumScene.tv, and then we'll be back with Christian's Corner right after this. Okay. I started this late.
Good job, Matt.
Yeah, good job, Matt. You did fantastic. All right.
You didn't do fantastic. It was Manchester City this weekend at Stamford Bridge.
No, they did not. Okay, you want to do stadium scene plug?
Sure.
You want to start it, or you want me to start?
You can start.
Okay. Hey everybody, Dave and Christian here to give a plug for StadiumScene.tv. If you are going to a stadium in the US or Canada, you want to go to StadiumScene.tv to check out their recommendations on where to park, what bars and restaurants to visit before and after the game, and if you go, leave a review. So you can help other people going to stadiums. In addition to all of that, they partner with content creators. Right, Christian?
Yes, they do. They partner with content creators like us. So they stream podcasts, YouTube videos, a bunch of different stuff. It's really interesting. You should check them out, and they help us out. So I hope you can help them out.
All right. Good stuff. Sorry, I went right into...
So what other... Yeah, I know. What other content... Like, I couldn't think of things. It was like podcasts,
blog
YouTube
posts.
videos.
That was the other thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That was the only other thing.
I mean, bloggers.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry. I don't have that written down. Okay.
Remember when you did a blog for that day?
Oh, yeah. What was that called?
From soccer to football.
Yeah, translating football. That's what it was called when I was a sophomore. That was the summer I didn't have a job, and so I was trying to figure out what the hell to do.
That was the first article you wrote, was from soccer to football. Because that came up with that title, right?
No, the whole website was called Translating Football. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I don't remember.
I think so.
I'm pretty sure it was, though. I'm pretty sure it was. Whatever. Doesn't matter. That was short-lived.
Yeah. Did you do one post?
No, I did a bunch. I did like 3. Well, a bunch. I did like maybe
a bunch,
5.
Like 3.
3 to 5. Yeah. I didn't do more than 5.
Okay. Oh, hey, Kristen.
Christian says hello. She says, "Go."
She hates me. I know. Yeah, I heard. She's so rude. She call you a d-bag?
Yeah, she called me a douchebag, and she said she hates me as well.
Good. It's a family thing.
I love you. I'm just joking. I know. They can hear you. At least I think.
It's miracle.
So just for anyone who may watch this, she did not say any of those things. She said hello to Christian, and she's a lovely human
I can hear
being.
her.
I know. I'm just clarifying just in case. Okay. All right, Christian.
I am ready. Yes.
Go ahead.
Welcome to Christian's Corner, where all the fun happens on this podcast. So let's jump in right away. So we're going to start with the Ballon d'Or. The winner this year, Modric. I can't remember if we talked about this last week. Did this happen in the last week, actually?
No. Yeah, this happened in the last week.
Oh, okay. So Luka Modric from Croatia and Real Madrid, center midfielder, won the Ballon d'Or this year. I think the biggest shock, in my opinion, is that Messi finished 5th in the voting, which is just mind-blowing to me. So I want to start overall. Dave, did you believe Modric was the best player? Do you think he deserved to win this year?
I think I don't know. It's
I guess
tough,
those are two different things.
Yeah. So I'm okay with him winning. I still believe Messi deserved to win. We talked about this on the podcast previously. He was the highest scorer in Europe. Barca won the double. He was incredibly efficient. He creates the most goals in Europe. So Messi, I still think, was the best player, but I'm okay with it going to Modric. You know, Real Madrid won the Champions League. He dragged Croatia to the final, and I thought was the best player at the World Cup. So for those reasons, in those big tournaments, I was okay with him winning this award. I don't think he should have won if we're, you know, I don't think I would have chosen him, is what I should say.
So do you think that a player like Varane, who won both of those tournaments, should have been considered over him, though?
Yes. So everyone who listens to this podcast knows my Varane love. He's just incredibly dominant. A defender's never going to win this award in modern soccer. They just don't get enough credit. But yes, I think Varane should have won. If we're talking about weighing the fact that
if they're giving it for the reason that they just gave it to Modric, then it should have gone to Varane.
Exactly. That's the best point.
Yeah, and in my opinion, and I know I was just talking to other people about this, and they were saying, like, oh, so you think LeBron should have won every MVP? And I was like, yes, he should have, because he's the best. Like, I don't understand this argument. The award is for the best player in the world that year. It is hands down LeBron, obviously. Hands down was Lionel Messi again this year. Like, I understand him and Ronaldo have been going back and forth, and sometimes Ronaldo did deserve it, so I'm not going to take that away from him. Not all the time. But I think that Messi has clearly been the best player over the last, 12 years at this point now. And he is just amazing to watch. He created the most goals. He broke records for most free kicks in a year. He assisted the most goals. He scored the most goals. He had the most dribbles in the world last year. Like, he won 2 trophies. And if we're putting aside all of the winning trophies, then whatever, that's fine. He still did the most individually to win this award because he is the best. And that's where I don't understand what they're actually looking for in this award, or they should change the whole idea of the award, because it is supposed to be the best individual soccer player of that year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in agreement with you.
Yeah, and just another point, the fact that Mohamed Salah finished 6th, like, I love Salah. He is fantastic. Why is he 1 place behind Messi? Because that's not even kind of true. Like, Messi is so far ahead. I think Hazard is far ahead. Like, there are players who are just incredible. Ronaldo, Modric.
I'm going to disagree on Hazard.
But really?
Hazard, I say this all the time. Hazard is so talented when he's on his game, but his inconsistency with his form is why he
Well, I
can
mean,
never be
you see that
mentioned.
from Salah now, though, too. So
Yeah.
it's hard to.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
But you
but I was
said, wait,
saying
you
he was
said he was on
considerably
the same
better. Yeah,
level. Yeah,
yeah, for sure.
exactly. So exactly, like Hazard and
But I
Salah, I
think
would
Hazard is
say
still the best player in the Premier League, probably with De Bruyne.
when he's on his game, yes. But for me, Hazard is just so inconsistently frustrating.
He hasn't been though this year.
Yes, he has. He started
I
off
don't think he
amazing.
has.
He started off amazing, and then the last few
It's just because
weeks,
he's just not scoring goals doesn't mean he's not performing. I watch him and he's just fantastic.
I
He
don't know.
creates chances. He dribbles by people. Like he is doing all of the stuff, and he can't be blamed for his team not finishing the chances.
At the end of the day,
I mean, I'm not saying Messi is not significantly better than Hazard, so that wasn't the argument. You were saying Salah, though, right? You were comparing those two.
yeah, I think that they are comparable. I'm not saying one is demonstrably better than the other, but I think they're on the same level because they both aren't nearly as consistent as Messi, which is an unfair standard to hold them to. I recognize that, but
there are only two players who should have been up for this award, and it was Messi and Ronaldo. They are the best still.
I don't know.
And I don't think Ronaldo was significantly like dominant like he's been in the past year. So I don't think he should have deserved it.
Yeah, for we're on the same page. I think Messi deserves it. Ronaldo at this point in his career, I think he's still producing with the numbers, but I don't put him in that same level, as with Messi anymore.
No, he's just a striker who scores now. Like that's who he is. He's a poacher.
Well, which is that's a huge thing because soccer, goals are the most important thing in soccer. But the fact that Messi creates so much for his teammates, okay, yeah, Messi creates so much for his teammates in addition to scoring. Like he's just otherworldly. So I'm in agreement with you.
I mean, the first part of this year so far, it looks like Messi just is driven to win everything this year. He looks like an unstoppable force. So I'd be shocked to see him not win it this year. But, it comes down to the Champions League, apparently, for this award every single year. And that's what we'll see again.
Yep.
Anything else do you have to add on this topic?
Nope, I'm good.
All right, so let's go to a little more funny one that happened in the Bundesliga. It hurts to say,
I guess
but
depending on
well, I mean, he can't say it, but I can say it. So somebody lost their tongue. Everybody watch out. All right, so I think his name is Andres Luthe or Luthe. I'm not really sure which one it is, but he's the Augsburg goalkeeper in the Bundesliga. He had a collision with Kevin Volland on Hoffenheim this weekend, and right?
Isn't Ballon on Leverkusen?
Leverkusen, yeah, definitely Leverkusen, and I have it written right in front of me, and I still messed it up. So on Leverkusen, so he actually hurt his neck, whiplash almost, and bit a part of his tongue off during the game. Dave, have you ever seen an injury like this in your life?
No.
Like this,
yeah.
Well,
I've seen bad injuries, but not like this. I've seen more like goalkeepers getting knocked out, broken bones and things like that. And then they didn't play through either of those.
Yeah.
So
are you surprised that it doesn't happen more? I feel like this is kind of something that can happen with just getting hit in the face. The ball hit him, I'm pretty sure, actually. Hit him on the chin and it got whiplash and he bit through his tongue. I feel like that could happen a lot more because the ball does hit the goalies in the face a lot, but maybe they're just tongue actions better,
Maybe Luthe needs to improve his tongue actions. Yeah. I guess I never really thought about it until we've had this conversation. I mean, maybe that's why you see some players wear mouth guards. I know Joseph Martinez wears a mouth guard. I'm not sure what that's about. I know Guzan has a mouth guard too. I noticed in MLS Cup, which we'll talk about in my
it's an
section.
Atlanta requirement.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe. But yeah, maybe that's why they're doing it. But yeah, I am surprised that it doesn't happen more now that you bring it up, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. So he was interviewed after with Sky Sport, and it was just a really, really funny story. He just was like, "Yeah, I lost a piece of my tongue," just really casually. And I don't understand, because I feel like that would be unbearable pain. I don't understand how he just like continued to play through it. This was in the
Well,
75th minute, so there was 15 minutes left. It's not like it was the 95th minute. And that, like, when I bite my tongue, it's like, that hurts so bad. So I don't understand how biting completely through a piece of it, that must have been a lot of blood too, because your tongue bleeds a lot.
yes, yes, it does. Well, but also you're in a match, you have the endorphins going. I think we've all played through injuries that, like, if we were walking around the house, we might lie down, but when you're in the in the game, you have endorphins going, and so you just your body just adjusts and you get through it.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. All right. Yeah, so it's just a funny story that, like, this is a weird freak injury that I've never heard about before, and I just wanted to mention it. And it
Yeah,
was a little bit funny, and he seemed to be like really light spirit and like laughing about it after, so he's okay,
that's good.
which means we're okay. All right,
Yes,
so
yes, we are.
Dave, anything else you have to add on this topic?
No, just goalkeepers are a unique breed.
They
That
are very special.
exactly.
All right, so last topic here is one of our fan favorites. Um, Matt also loves him from when he was at City, although it seemed like he didn't recently. All right, so James Milner, or James Milner, as the English would pronounce it, had his 500th league appearance yesterday, Saturday. He is a very special guy, in my opinion.
Oh, we lost Christian. I guess he was.
What is it, 16 years?
Oh, hold up. Because you
Did I
got out of
break
the
out?
app. Yeah.
I didn't get
So,
out of the app. I had a FaceTime call coming in. I had to reject it.
all right. No worries. Sorry.
Do you want me to start that again?
Yeah,
Or
if you
just
don't
like
mind.
get the end? Or do you
Yeah.
want to do the whole
Just
thing
the
again?
end. No, just
Okay.
the end.
So what are your thoughts on the legacy of James Milner, Dave, over his last, I guess, was it 17 years in the league?
I mean, he's an incredible player, and I think as his career has continued to go on, people have been giving him more and more credit. Up until maybe his Man City years, you just thought of him as kind of a journeyman pro who was talented. At least this is how I thought of him.
Mm-hmm.
And then since he joined some of the massive clubs in City and Liverpool and has made an impact and has played, he's been such a utility player. It's amazing to, at the professional level, be able to play multiple positions, because people are so specialized that it's really tough to be able to play multiple positions, right? So for me, I think that has been a part of his legacy. The fact that he started as a pro, 16, he's always taking care of his body. He's in fantastic shape. He doesn't, drink or eat anything poorly, and he just lives kind of like a professional life. And so it's really impressive.
Yeah, he is the consummate pro. Like, he is the embodiment of a professional person. And he is like, every year I just get blown away with how much he's able to produce and how great he is as a utility man, because he can play every position. And I know Jurgen Klopp was joking and was like, yeah, next year he'll be our backup for Allison. And it's just so crazy that you've seen him play almost every position except probably center back and striker at this point. He has played everywhere, and he is fantastic to watch. Like, at his age, the fact that he's able to cover as much ground as he is just boggles my mind. I can barely run to that wall over there, let alone cover 10 miles in a game. Like, it's insane how much he's able to run. And every year he tops that chart. Him and Henderson, but no, let's get rid of him. Milner, it's just, he's able to produce. He gets goals. He gets assists. He's able to just dribble. He can do everything you want, and he never wants the credit for it. And it's really, he's a special guy, and I love him as our captain right now. I think Henderson should go sit over there and just never come on the field again.
He's a special guy.
He is a special guy.
That is the best way to describe him.
Like, I've never seen, and Salah after the game refused to take the match ball. I think you probably saw that.
Yeah.
And he said, no, this is for James. And just, that locker room is fantastic. And I think he is a part of that. And like, he has helped create that environment with Klopp and the rest of the crew. It's just really awesome. I really think James Milner needs to go down as one of the Premier League greats, even though he hasn't lit it on fire. He has been there forever and is doing everything you need him to do.
Yeah, he's been amazing. And I also think
he also has a crazy record that we'll get to in the trivia question later.
Yes, very nice callback. I mean, I think it also helped, as ridiculous as it is, Twitter with the whole boring Milner account
that has helped.
Was, hilarious and raised sort of notoriety for him. And just the fact that he is just so professional and really doesn't do anything wrong off the field just sort of highlights it in a funny way. And then he joined Twitter fairly recently and just sort of plays into it and is he's a funny guy and just I think all of that has helped as well.
Yeah, he doesn't want any of the credit. All he wants to do is help his team succeed. That really is unique and something we don't really see from a lot of professional soccer players and professional athletes in general. They're more in it for themselves, and you don't really see that from him at all.
Would you give the captain to Milner or Van Dijk if you're taking it away from Henderson?
For this year, I would give it to Milner. He mentioned that he might be retiring at the end of this year, which I hope is not true because he's still producing and is able to do everything that he is right now. But the way that he plays, honestly, isn't going to last forever just because of how much he runs, and eventually he would just burn out. So I understand, but I hope we have at least another year or two with him. Right now, I'd give it to Milner, but Van Dijk is clearly our future captain, up there with Trent.
Interesting. You think Trent?
Just because he's Scouse. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else you have to add on this topic? I'm slipping.
I don't. Yeah. Like, anyone watching on YouTube, like Christian's camera has just slowly been tilting. So I was wondering if we were going to get a full fall, but he caught it beforehand, which was good. No, I don't have anything else.
All right. So that'll wrap up Christian's Corner. I hope everyone had fun. I know I did.
Did as
looks
well.
Like he did. And everyone who's listening, let me know if you didn't, because we got some explaining to do. All right, so we're going to go to some music here, and we'll be back with Dave's final segment.
Awesome. Good stuff. A little bit more than 15. Nope. What did I do? What the fuck? There we go. Okay. Good stuff. I'll do the FNX network plug. Hey, everybody. Dave here, giving a shout out to FNX.network. They're another one of our partners. FNX.network is a website that has stories, podcasts, and other content about a variety of topics: sports, entertainment, video games, lifestyle, tech, and more. All of that is available on FNX.network. Check out some of our stuff. Check out a bunch of other things over on FNX.network. Okay, cool. And then my segment. Ready? You're looking at, do you need to do something?
Oh, no, I'm just reading. Sorry. We made the Castle final yesterday, and John posted about it on our Colonial page.
Congrats.
Thanks.
I'll like it on Facebook.
It's not going to be in the stadium, which is very annoying.
I know.
It's just their whole selling point, but whatever. We're going to win the cup.
There you go. Hey, title's a title. Yeah. We want the cup.
Gotta have that cup.
Welcome back, everyone, to Dave's Dive, my segment, and let's jump right into things. First up, Ada Hegerberg, I believe is how you pronounce her name. She was the first ever female Ballon d'Or winner. I think it's called the Ballon d'Or Feminin. I just want to first off just highlight her on the amazing accomplishment that this award should be. There's obviously a controversy around this, but before we talk about that, I just wanted to give her the proper, time and shout out, because everybody seems to just be talking about the twerk comment, and we'll talk about it, but I want to focus just on her as a player. And she has had a fantastic career. She's only 23 years old, started off in Norway. She's Norwegian, and she started off there just dominant, and then she moved on through a couple other leagues and into Olympique Lyon, which is where she is now, and they're widely regarded as the best women's team in the world, and she is a star on that team. So, just shout outs to her and congratulations. Christian, anything you want to add?
I can't believe I just fell. That was crazy.
Has your camera
fault? All right, so I think she's a fantastic player. She really is, and she deserves all the credit that she's getting right now. She is on the best team in the world right now, or I guess arguably, but they seem to be consistent and just dominant over there in France, and they've won the Champions League a couple times, right?
Yep.
I think recently. So Yeah, I mean, she deserves all the credit that she's been getting for the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, and so obviously we want to mention the comment that happened. So after Hegerberg won her award, the host, who was a DJ, I'm not sure why a DJ was hosting this, and I want to highlight that in a minute. But Martin Solveig asked her if she wanted to twerk after winning the award, which is just so tone deaf and sexist from him. I mean, this is the first ever winner of this prestigious award, and the first thing he did was kind of like ask her to twerk and just sort of just not demeaned her, but just sort of like diminished this accomplishment. Like I don't think he would have ever asked like a guy to do that, and so it's just completely inexcusable. Christian, thoughts?
I need a second. I need to breathe because this is unacceptable. What world is this guy living in where he thought that would be appropriate? No, because she is the first ever Ballon d'Or winner for women, and yeah, it is diminishing the reputation. It's made into a joke almost because he asked this comment, and I know this is only one guy doing this. A lot of people were going to respect her, and they should because she is a fantastic player and a great woman, and it's just absolutely. I have no words to express how sexist and just I don't even know how to discriminatory that this is. It's awful.
Yeah, and it just robbed her of the moment, because now
Exactly.
what so many people are talking about is his moronic, idiotic comments, and instead of her just being this fantastic player.
Yep.
So yeah, I thought, our friend Anthony Chopa, highlighted that we should stop talking about this guy. And just focus on her, because she is like a ridiculous player. She was a key part of them winning the treble back in 2016, and she's just tearing things up. And so I'm excited to follow her career as it continues. The one point that I did want to highlight, and the Cooligans brought this up for anyone who listens to the Cooligans podcast, they brought up that a lot of times comedians host these big award ceremonies because they understand a time and a place to make jokes. And sometimes when you have somebody who doesn't understand that, like this guy's a DJ, like he doesn't really know about hosting events and understanding like moments and when to make a joke or what would be appropriate and whatnot. And so, they brought up a really good point that just like, this guy's an idiot. He never should have been host in the first place, because especially for a moment like this, you don't want anyone to rob out of that. And so I thought that was really interesting and something I've never thought of before. Any other thoughts, Christian?
All right. So she plays for Norway. Are they in the World Cup this coming year?
I'm not sure off the top of my head.
I just saw the
believe that
US
they are.
draw, but I hope she is, because I want to watch her play, and I want her to make it far. I want her to just keep getting the credit that she deserves, because this really is a despicable act. And I don't think he meant it to be this way. At least I hope not. But it really came off awfully for him and a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely. And he, I think he was just, he thought he was being funny. They're in Group A with France, Korea, Norway, and then Nigeria. So she will be at the World Cup, and so we will be following her progress and all of that. But yeah, I don't think I think he just was an idiot and didn't think. And I mean, that doesn't excuse it. It's still an incredibly sexist, terrible remark. But
DJ dumbass.
Yeah, exactly. So. Yeah, but let's leave that to the side. I just want to focus on Ada and just her accomplishments, and that guy's an idiot, and we should never really talk about him again. Okay, anything else, Christian?
No.
All right, now I want to switch gears a little bit, switch back over to the men's side and talk about Weston McKennie specifically. So we kind of talked about James Milner earlier in this podcast and how he has been fantastic because he has positional flexibility. And Weston McKennie, it has that at Schalke, but it's starting to get to the point where I am starting to be a little bit worried, because he's not playing at center midfield, which is widely kind of considered his best position. He has played at center back. I think he's played even at outside back for them in the past. And now he started at striker for them in their match against Dortmund. So, Christian, what do you make of McKennie being a young player and getting sort of moved around positionally at this point in his career?
I just can't believe how inspiring I am to these people just because they must be watching me on the field. It's crazy. I think it's really halting progress, honestly. I think that players at his age need to be playing in a specific position and really learn all that it is so that do you disagree with me or
No,
are
no,
you
I'm
looking
sorry.
at comments?
Yeah, I'm looking at a
Okay.
comment. Apologies.
Sorry,
Sorry.
it's all right. So I think that yeah, you need to be playing a specific spot, learning all there is to know about that, because he's going to be bringing that to the U.S. Men's national team. Men's national team. I don't even know what words I just said. All right, and I think yeah, he needs to be in midfield. He is one of our best midfielders, if not the best midfielder we have in our pool right now, and I think it's great that he's getting other experience and he's learning other places to play. And the fact that he's able to be a utility man is really great. But at his age, I think it really is hampering his development.
And I'm in complete agreement. I think it's better, later on in your career to have that flexibility, but for him, still very much in his critical development stages, being moved around. And it's one thing to move from like defensive midfielder to center back, or, defensive midfielder to regular midfielder, or, between striker and center attacking midfielder. Like there are some things that you can sort of translate, but he seems to just be moved all over the pitch. And I'm not sure how much can really translate. And at that point, I think it's doing more I don't want to say it's doing more harm, because at the end of the day, he's getting game time, and it'd be, it's best for him to get game time over not playing. But I am a little bit worried that he's not starting in center midfield and he's kind of just being utilized everywhere. So
would you would rather it this way than him just training and then only playing when they need a midfielder?
Yes, I would rather it this way. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think that he needs to be getting minutes as well, but it would just be nice if they had some consistency in where he was playing. Even if it is different midfield positions, then that's fine. But he should not be floating every single position on the field.
Agreed. So, hopefully he can sort of settle down, maybe win his starting center midfielder job back, and, it'll be better for the U.S. and it'll be better for his career long term, because I still think he is best at center midfield. But, I mean, he has shown a penchant for, winning aerial balls, scoring on corners. And so, I don't know, maybe what's his name? Tedesco, I want to say is the manager's name at Schalke, sees something. And to be quite frank, we are light at striker in the U.S. pool. So on the off chance that he could develop into a striker, maybe it'll be good, but I just don't see it. And so I think he's best at
Sargent's the answer there.
No, I do think Sargent's the answer there, but we have nobody. So our interview, which is coming out on Thursday, but I just recorded it with Matty Nips. We were talking about, the forward pool right now is Josie, Bobby Wood, and then Sargent, right? I'm not sure how much. I don't really have a ton of confidence in Bobby
Zardes,
Wood.
Right?
Yeah, I don't have a confidence in Zardes. I don't have confidence in Wood, and I don't have confidence in Novakovic. So, yeah. So, honestly, the only players that I have somewhat confidence in right now is Josie and Sargent.
Do you not think that, sorry, this is transferring the topic a little bit, but do you not think Jordan Morris is going to come back and be that too?
He just tore his ACL. His game was predicated on speed. Like, it wasn't like he was a very technical player. And so you don't know how somebody's going to rehab from that and come back.
JB, he is somebody who can come back and make a difference there.
But I don't have confidence in that right now. Like, legitimately.
You have no confidence in any single one of our strikers, though, right now. So
I just said Zardes and no, definitely not Zardes.
Definitely not Zardes.
I just said Josie and Sargent. I would have confidence in starting at striker for the U.S. right now.
I guess. Josie hasn't seen the field in over a year, so I don't even know anymore.
For the U.S.
Yeah,
but his game was always predicated on not as physical as he looks. It was always based on sort of like good touches, incorporating other people, hold up play, not with like back to goal hold up play, but really just incorporating others. And so he's more of a technical player, as frustrating as it can be sometimes. So I still have confidence in Josie. I know a lot of people don't, but I still do.
What is he, 27 now?
Yeah, he's 27 or 28. And he still can serve a purpose for the U.S. I really hope Sargent comes through and just supplants him. But right now, they're the top two forwards, in my opinion. Yeah. So, but who knows? Maybe McKennie breaks through there. I don't know. I don't know. And we saw Haji Wright break through with Schalke. He got a start last week. I watched that match. He did a whole lot of nothing. It's his first start in the Bundesliga. I'm not going to be too critical. That's a huge accomplishment, but it wasn't like I didn't see a ton of positives. But then again, I remember watching Harry Kane his first couple seasons, and I just didn't, he was constantly offside. Same with Adebayor when he was breaking through. I just didn't think they were any good. And then all of a sudden in their third season, it's like, holy shit, where did this guy come from? But, especially at the forward position, they can kind of all of a sudden break out.
Even with sorry, she was behind you. It was just funny.
Oh, yeah. My wife walking around in the background. Just
and if at FIFA co-op has taught us anything, Timothy Weah can be our big-ass striker for some reason. Right, Dave?
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, maybe he can play striker. I mean, who knows? Yeah, I mean, he plays there for PSG. Well, if he plays.
He plays up front?
Yeah, he plays up front. He doesn't play on the wing. He only plays on the wing for the U.S. Yeah. So who knows? Maybe, that's another one. So we'll see what happens with that. But circling back to Weston McKennie, I think he just needs to find a position and just start to develop there. All right, last topic I wanted to cover here. MLS Cup was yesterday. Atlanta United beat Portland Timbers 2-0. Christian, did you watch the match?
Yes, I did.
What were your thoughts on it?
My thoughts are that Atlanta are the best team MLS has ever seen. That's where I'm going to say. I think that they are ridiculously stacked all over the field. They never looked like they weren't going to win that game. They were just so dominant from the onset. And I'm blown away by them every time I watch them.
They're extremely talented. I don't know if I'm ready to say they're definitely the best team in MLS history. I still think that Toronto team from, I guess it was last year, right?
2 years or last year?
No, it was last year. They just have kind of fallen apart over the last year. Yeah, but they're still right up there. But, MLS is constantly evolving, and Atlanta United seems to be the model for the future, and they have a ridiculously talented squad. I'm in agreement with you. They were by far the better side yesterday. Portland had really that one chance at the end of the first half where Bobasé had the header inside the 6-yard box, and he just put it kind of right at Guzan, who made a good save. But beyond that, I can't think of really any chance that Portland really created, and Atlanta just was dominant, well-deserving champions. And I mean, there really isn't too much more to say. It'll be interesting to see how they handle this transition with Tata leaving. Miguel Almiron looks like he's pretty much leaving. Joseph Martinez looks like he probably is staying, but it'd be interesting to just see how they manage all of this, because they really hit a home run in their first 2 seasons. And I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how they build off of that.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if it's really sustainable for them if they lose those key figures right there in the club. And it'll be very interesting to see if they have like a Toronto type season next year if they lose them.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I mean, all credit to them. They were fantastic. Them and the Red Bulls were the 2 best teams in the league this season. And, I don't really have too much.
Just Red Bulled.
Exactly. Yeah, and I don't really I want to give them the proper time of day, but Atlanta United was just so dominant that really recapping the game yesterday or saying much more, I don't know how much more there was to say. Atlanta United was by far better. They were
the biggest surprise that I saw from the game was that it ended 2-0, because it looked like Atlanta could have had 3 or 4 more goals, especially towards the end of the game when Portland, I guess, were just throwing numbers forward. They just weren't taking their chances, and it was really, really that dominant, specifically in the second half. The only thing I wanted to bring up outside of that was the Portland coach after the game in his interview. I don't know if you saw that. He was blaming the ref for one specific incident that he said his team were controlling the game at that point. He felt like they were about to come back, and he gave a foul call that ended up leading to a goal like minutes later. So I don't really understand why he would say that.
Yeah, Giovanni Savarese. Yeah, I agree with that. When he made that comment, I think everybody was kind of a little puzzled. And Alexi Lalas right after that.
Immediately was like, it was not the ref.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah, so no, I'm in agreement. I get it. He's trying to defend his players and whatnot, and he's caught up in the heat of the moment. But in no way, shape, or form did Portland deserve to win that.
Will he be fined or like have
he might be fined.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not supposed to make any comments about the officials, and so he will likely be fined. I don't think anything more than that, though.
Yep.
All right. Anything else you want to say, Christian?
I don't think so.
All right. The only thing I would like to say is congrats to Atlanta United. I think they're the 13th team to win an MLS Cup. Hopefully, the Union can be the 14th team next year. We can all dream, right? It's an off season for MLS, and we can all dream. Actually, so MLS is so fun.
Come, please.
Yeah, MLS is so funky. I think there is a trade window open today. Like the offseason starts almost immediately. And so I'll have to check to see, because I know the Union were rumored to be moving some players. So check our Twitter feed.
Are we going to get Dutch Kyle back, or is that officially not?
That's pretty much gone. It looks like we're going to try to move CJ and possibly a Com as well. And so, there's going to be a lot of changes for the Union.
What a waste of money that was.
Yes, it was. Okay. This isn't a Union podcast. You can hit us up on Twitter if you want to talk Union. All right. Before we get to our listener questions, quick plug for the Soccer Tavern. It is a YouTube channel where I have videos about the history, culture, and philosophy of the beautiful game. We have a bunch of videos on there about a variety of topics: Premier League club history videos, national team history videos, histories about terminology in soccer. Why is it called a pitch? Why is it called a nutmeg? So on and so forth. And so, all of that's available on the Soccer Tavern. That is linked in the video description and podcast show notes. Please go check it out. First listener question comes to us from @officialhernandez. We've had him on in the past. So he said, can we talk about Bleacher Report's Sam Tighe weekly European club rankings? So I had no idea what this means or what he was talking about. I asked him to clarify. Christian, do you have any idea what he's talking about? No? Okay. So @officialhernandez, I'm sorry. Neither of us know what you mean by this. And so I don't know what we can really comment on. Maybe Christian, rank the top 5 European clubs for you right now, maybe from potential at winning Champions League. Let's take it that way.
Oh boy. Okay. At number 1, after I guess this weekend's events, I'm going to go Barcelona number 1, Manchester City number 2. I'm going to go Juventus number 3. Wow. 4. You know what? I'm going to do it. Liverpool. And 5. What country am I missing right now?
PSG, maybe?
No, probably not, though.
No?
They don't really look that dominant right now. I know they're very talented, but I wouldn't say they're... I'm just going to say Real Madrid just because of who they are, but they look terrible.
Okay. I'll flip Barca and Man City. I still think Man City's the best team in Europe, so I'll put them still at 1. I'll put Barca at 2. I will agree with you on Juve at 3. I'll put PSG at 4, and then I'll put Liverpool at 5.
Okay.
All right. So Official Hernandez, I don't know if that's what you were asking or not, but hopefully that was interesting for you. All right. Next question is from @Northwood Guitar. This was a question more for Matt because he's the basketball fan, but I think the Sixers played Detroit. And so he was saying how bad it hurts when the Pistons beat the 76ers, but turns out the Sixers won. So Matt, the Northwood Guitar, his name is Matt, condolences, but the Sixers are just better than the Pistons right now. Christian, any thoughts?
Sure. They're definitely better. And we going for the chip. We going to do it.
All right. Last question actually is something I think we can answer. So @World Hotspur, that's our friend Will. He was interviewed 2 weeks ago on the podcast, and check out World Hotspur. Whether you're a Tottenham fan or not, Tottenham Hotspur World is his website. Do you have any interesting match day traditions, superstitions when you watch your favorite clubs play? Do you have anything, Christian?
Yes.
Okay. What are yours?
I always have to be wearing red no matter what. I always do. Usually when I'm home on the weekends, I'll be wearing my Liverpool shirt. But if I have to go to work, I actually wear a red shirt to work that day. And usually I wear my red underwear. Fun fact.
All right, there you go, Will. I don't have any set traditions. When I was a player, I had maybe a little bit more, specifically like meals.
Oh, you mean watching or playing?
No. He said no. He said watching, but I'm addressing it because I don't really have any with watching. I always try to wear a kit or like I have Philadelphia Union socks. So if I can't wear a kit because of what I'm going to, I'll try to wear like Union socks or something like that. Or I don't have Liverpool socks, so. Maybe I need to get a pair of those, but yeah,
Christmas is coming up.
Yeah, hey-o. I almost always have. I will almost always wear a Union kit or a Liverpool kit or a U.S. men's national team kit. If I'm watching any of them play, and beyond that, yeah. But I don't. It's not like a requirement or a superstition.
Do you say you do have them for when you play or no?
When I played, I used to get super nervous when I
Yeah, he
was
used to
a
vomit it.
player.
That was his warm up.
Yeah, we don't need to. People don't need to know that.
They needed to
Um,
know.
Yeah, but so like if I was in the morning, I would always eat like toast with honey because that was kind of like light on the stomach, and I needed to do that if I had morning games and whatnot. But I always wouldn't warm up in my shirt that I was playing in, so I'd always warm up in a separate shirt, and then right before the match, I would put on my kit for the day. Christian, please stop like clapping or moving your hands.
Oh, that was me cracking my knuckles. Sorry.
Okay, no worries. And then yeah, so those were my only traditions. Christian, anything else you have?
Um, I mean, with the Union, I always have to wear their kit when I go to the games, and I always have to bring a scarf where they lose. So.
All right, so there you go. As probably you expected, Christian is a little bit more superstitious than I am with fandom. Christian, you want to recap our trivia question? I'll give my guess.
To. Mr. James James Milner, boring old James Milner, in his 500th appearance this week. Well, in his 499th, he scored. But he not broke a record, but he's just adding to his own record. He has scored in a certain number of games and has never lost. How many games is that? In the Premier League, sorry, specifically.
I'm going to say 65 because he takes penalty. He's got to have a decent amount of goals scored. So I don't know. I'm going to guess 65.
Okay. That's high.
Damn it.
Because
really?
Think about, he doesn't really.
He's played for 17 years.
I know.
So what is that? That's like 4 goals a season.
Yeah.
And it's less than that?
It is less than that.
Wow. Okay. I don't know. That was my logic.
Specifically in the league. Like, I don't know if that
I understand that. It's a 38-game season.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't really score that often. But, okay. So, it is 50 now. He has played 50 games in the league without losing.
You're acting like I doubled the number. That's not that crazy of a difference. It's 50 versus 65.
I mean, if you add Jack Cork's record that he had up until last week, then it is 65.
Okay. All right. So listeners, hopefully you did better. I still think I was fairly close. It wasn't ridiculously unreasonable, my guess, but Christian, it's a great trivia question, and that's an incredible record. I mean, let's say that. I mean, that's wild. Listeners, thank you so much for being here. Please leave us a review on wherever you listen to us. It's super easy to do. If you have any questions, hit us up on Twitter, but it really, really helps us out. And I can't tell you how much it would mean to us if you just click 5 stars. It's really easy to do. And if you write a review, that would be amazing too. Christian, you want to tell people about our Slack channel?
I would love to. So our Slack channel, our Slackyverse, as some may refer to it as.
I think that's just you.
Nope, the other people have.
Okay.
It's not just me. I heard it from somebody else first. All right, so we have a Slack channel. It is Bros Talking Soccer, and that's all you have to look up when you're going in, right?
Yeah, I don't know how to make it open that anybody can join. So you got to hit us up on there. Okay. Hit us up on Twitter or something, and we can send you an invite. But what's going on there, Christian?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a bunch of different little channels that are topics for each of us to discuss. So we have transfer rumors. We have all the different leagues in there. We have just general soccer topics, breaking news, all this different stuff, and we're adding to it all the time. And no matter what you want to talk about, even if you don't see something in there, just put it in general and we'll make a topic for you. It's very, very easy. And it's just a way to interact with both us and everyone else that's tuning into soccer around the world.
Yeah. So we have about 15 or 20 people in there right now talking about, all different kinds of stuff. We were talking about Premier League and MLS Cup yesterday, and, constantly talking about a variety of topics. People have all kinds of experience and interests about soccer all over the world. And so, we're really just trying to grow interest in the sport and just have discussions with people all over the place. So, hit us up. We'd love to have you in there. Additionally, we're trying to grow this podcast, and we're looking for ways to support the show. So if you have any suggestions and recommendations on, how to grow this, whether it's, telling people, or, if we add a Patreon page, would you guys support that? I don't want to come out and just say, hey, we're offering this for X amount of dollars per month or whatnot. We want it to be collaborative, and we want to hear what you might be interested in, as far as supporting the show and helping things grow. helping this whole thing grow. So yeah, hit us up on Twitter.
How do you expect me to grow if you won't let me blow?
Can you explain to people, or at least give some sort of context?
All right, so that is a quote from season 2 of Friends, and yeah, so it's about they were reading a book, and it was "Be Your Own Wind Keeper." So yeah, Rachel said that to Ross, and it was just a hilarious quote. And everyone go check out that show if you haven't seen it before.
Yes. And if you want to get in contact with us, our Twitter's at PT Soccer Pod. We're going off the rails a little bit here at the end. Apologies. Our email is bros.talking.soccer@gmail.com. Website is brostalkingsoccerpodcast.com. Christian, what can people do there?
Well, you find out about us, you can listen to podcasts, and you can also go check out our Amazon store by clicking the Amazon button at the top of the page. Anything you're buying on Amazon, doesn't matter if it's something that we have, but it just literally takes you to the Amazon store, type in whatever you want, and we get proceeds from whatever you buy on there. It is no additional charge to you. It's just related to our account, so we get some of the money that you're paying for your products. No additional charge, remember.
Yes, no additional
charge. It would really help us out.
Exactly. Yep. So yeah, if you want to support us, that would be fantastic, especially with the holidays coming out. If you're buying anything on Amazon, just do that. And again, we would just greatly appreciate that. Christian, thanks so much for being here and talking with me this week.
Dave, your podcast was just excellent this week. I don't know what it was, but it was like someone else wasn't here that was holding us back.
I agree. Listeners, thank you so much for being here. We will talk to you. Interview on Thursday with Maddie Nips. And so hopefully you listen to that. And if not, we'll talk to you. Yes, we'll do a little bit of Twitch. I am going to be traveling, so I don't know how much we'll be playing Twitch over the Christmas period, but I'm going to be home on Tuesday. We're going to be doing podcasts together for the next few weeks, so that'll be fun.
So are we twitching tomorrow only?
Maybe. I have a bunch of calls tomorrow.
Look at you. So
tune into our look on our Twitter feed for when we're going to be live on Twitch. See you, everybody.
Bye-bye.